tall, and they're also not physical to move him away and move him off his pivot foot and out of his position. But he's shown great hands. He's shown good touch, a lot of poise. I'm sure that Coach Haas and the staff is very, very pleased with what they're seeing.
Yeah, he didn't want that foul on Reno there, but it is what it is as we reach the end of this one. Looking forward to all the games we're going to have this afternoon and evening on Pac-12 Network, as all 12 teams will be in action on our family of networks here.
Yeah, a lot of basketball to watch if you want to get a feel for this conference and how good everybody is. Today's the day. It doesn't take me 8 hours to get home. It took me longer to get here than I'd like.
We'll get Coach home from traffic. Stanford will get a victory. 88-77. The Cardinals win their season opener for the 7th consecutive time under Jared Haas.
A lot to feel good about for both coaches.
Minutes and time, but among the Dukes himself, Wooden is one of the mainstays throughout his career. 18-0 James Madison.
Well, the Dukes, at this point, you mentioned that Mark Byington wasn't sure his team was going to be real sharp, and that's the only thing that's going wrong for the Dukes here in these first few minutes right there. The tough contested three-point jump shot knocked down by White.
18-0 run to start things for the Dukes. Getting it inside to Soulé again, misses the shot. And that's the first miss for the Dukes today. They hitting their first 8. And we will go to a media timeout. 15:55 to go in the first half of play. James Madison 18, Valley Forge 3.
People would sail to.
You keep helping her with homework.
But we're only just now.
We'll help you save for her college.
Kia, movement that inspires.
This Friday. Reserve your tickets now. Rated PG-13.
James Madison over Valley Forge in the season opener here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Also the 5th college basketball game of the season. We appreciate you joining us on ESPN+. James Madison's season last year was derailed by injuries. Dukes lost 7 of their last 9 games. And head coach Mark Byington tried out something different this season. He shortened practices in the preseason. And so the benefit of that being he's hoping to eliminate some of those nagging injuries as the season continues. The caveat, though, he doesn't feel like his team is as fresh as they were last season. But as he put it to us, a slower climb to the top of the mountain.
Thank you very much, Corey. Interestingly, though, I don't think you can make 10 out of 8 shots. That would be the only way it could be better, right?
I think so.
A miss for Valley Forge. Otto Morris gets it out to Wooden. Looking out of Northside High School down in the Roanoke area. And the three-pointer dropped in. Otto Morris.
Dukes now 3 for 3 from distance, 9 for 10 overall in the start of the ball game. Also out on the floor for the Dukes is Xavier Brown, impressive 6'2" freshman out of Jamestown High School. His dad's coach, and you can see Xavier Brown immediately when he came on the floor communicating with his teammates on defense like last time down the floor.
And played for Jamestown, the Eagles, down in the Peninsula area. Pretty hefty numbers, 28.6 points per game. 6.7 assists per game and 6.6 rebounds per contest. A stat stuffer. And Tak Molson hits a three-pointer from outside. Tak last year shooting three-pointers at 28%, but was 44% from the floor otherwise. Again, he was a big reason why the Dukes sputtered down the home stretch last year. And he steals that ball away as he anticipated well. He's going to go up and try to lay it up. He draws the foul, and we'll see our first free throws of the season as Isaiah Reese is called for the foul. That's his first and team second, that is.
Signature for Mark Byington on defense is a defensive set that creates disruption in your offensive set. And, for an overmatched team like Valley Forge, that makes it extra difficult because you're going up against a team that's going to force a lot of turnovers, try to get a lot of transition. And the Dukes have been successful in doing that here in the opening moments of this ball game. I mean, you look at this. It's 14:26 on the first half clock, and the Dukes have 25 points on the scoreboard. We saw a huge number rolled up for the Dukes against Carlo in their season opener, another Division III team last year. They're ahead of that pace right now.
Olsen sinks both. He was a 75% shooter from the stripe last year. Former player from Canisius. Dukes have a number of players who were rookies of the year in their respective leagues.
Yeah, when do you have a roster that has 4 rookies of the year? With Friedel, Amati, Otto Morse, and also Offram.
Offram doing so. He started his career at George Washington. And a foul on the baseline, and it's called against Terrence Edwards of James Madison. Terrence last year starting 29 games, or getting into 29 games, used off the bench in most of those. He ended up starting 13, but again, a very active player. And a misfire on the pass inbounds. Easy pickoff for Woodson. Wooden leaves it up, and there is the bucket. Soule, the alley-oop, is lofted up by Terrence Edwards.
A little bit of showtime there for the Dukes. We've seen a bit of that here in this the start of this ball game.
And the three-pointer.
It's going to be White again.
And he's
been the offense.
He's got all 6 points. Soule again underneath. Needs a little more get up to get that one in. 0 for 2. It will go up a third time, and that's the charm. That's why
slaps his hips in a little frustration, and we're going to really drive down the shooting percentage there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your rebounding average goes up,
yeah,
but your shooting percentage goes down. So you make a little bit of an adjustment on that.
Tell you, when you see this JMU team, not only do you see them with a lot of energy here out on the floor, but this is a much more physical JMU basketball team than we saw last year.
I think so. And if you look at it, too, just the eye test, you don't have to really go down and look down the roster. But actually, both teams at James Madison, the men and the women, have added some size in body type as well as length as well. And so you're going to see on the court later tonight a Sean O'Regan's 7th team, as this is a double hitter here at the convocations. At the Atlantic Union Bank Center, going back a few years there. Always good to slip in. Actually, the combo will be open again next year.
It will be, yes.
For volleyball.
Yeah, that volleyball team, what a year they're having in the Sun Belt.
19-4 they are. We'll talk more about that. I'm sure we'll get a chance to do so. But here we are, the third season at the Atlantic Union Bank Center and the doubleheader. Maine is in town, one of the better teams, kind of tucked away in the northeast corner of the United States. They have been good for a number of years, and will give the Dukes a challenge here tonight, I'm sure. 30-6. James Madison with the comfortable lead. That's from the right wing. Nothing doing there. Coming away with it, Xavier Brown. Brown at 6'2", 170-pound freshman. Getting out of Williamsburg. Edwards is not afraid to drive, let's put it that way, and sometimes he gets a little bit a step ahead of himself, but he oftentimes creates contact or creates a seam and just has an aggressive approach to his game.
He's one of those players you can put into a ball game and you know he's going to make an impact, and probably 8 out of 10 times it's going to be a positive impact. Will get himself into some foul trouble from time to time, but he's just so versatile. He can do so many different things. See him now playing along the back line of this defense.
3-point attempt, no good. Friedel got a fingertip on it. Then the rebound comes off to the Patriots. Amati touched it out of bounds after the rebound was attempted to go back up. E.J. Brown from Jacksonville, Arizona, out of Beebe High School.
Dukes looked to be in a little bit of a zone that time. Didn't do a very good job of matching up when the ball went up on the glass.
And another slip, this time by the Patriots. Wood comes up with it, and a push from behind. Wooden lost the handle on the far side, and then fouls in retaliation.
You might be seeing a little of what Corey was talking about earlier about maybe the Dukes not being as sharp. They certainly were for the first 6 minutes of this ball game. A few turnovers and missed shots here in the last few moments.
They hit their first 8 shots, 4 of their last 7. Still not bad.
Not at all. And
there's third-year head coach Mark Byington, the product of UNC Wilmington.
One thing that's impressed me about Mark Byington, hearing his interviews in preseason this year, he's talked about the thing that he tries to do as a head coach is learn every year. And he felt like last year was a learning experience for him, as well as this basketball team. The playoff ban, the postseason ban by the CAA, he said was the hardest thing that his team had to deal with last year.
Wooden slams it home. Amati gets the pass out, and an easy bucket for Julian Wooden. Wooden has 2, and it's 32-6. James Madison. Smith goes off Amati out of bounds, and we go to a timeout. 11:27 to play here in the opening half of this 2022-23 college basketball season. James Madison cruising out of the gates, 32-6 over Valley Forge.
Do you own rental property but are tired of calls from tenants at all hours? Worn out by constantly searching for good tenants? Let Reiner Rentals manage your rentals so you can rest easy and maintain a profitable investment. We take away the headaches of advertising, leasing, maintenance, rent collection, and accounting by treating your rental like one of our own. Townhouses, condos, apartments, and unique student housing, Reiner Rentals manages them all. Because it's not just a rental, it's home.
Hey, Harrisonburg, say goodbye to slow download speeds and broken internet connections. Get the internet you deserve with Glo Fiber, a proud supporter of the JMU Dukes. Glo Fiber is here and offers simple, straightforward internet service. No gimmicks, no contracts, no hidden pricing, just incredibly fast, reliable service at a fair price. Let your internet service be a bright spot in your day. Visit glowfiber.com and see about your availability. Glo Fiber, brought to you by Chantel.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics. And proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
32-6 our score here. JMU over Valley Forge. And Todd Molson makes his return here to the Atlantic Union Bank Center. More from Corey.
Kurt, he's in his 6th year of college basketball. A couple of years at Canisius, sat out a year, 1 year at Seton Hall, now in year number 2 at James Madison. He suffered a torn ACL on January 27th last year against Drexel, and it was a bummer. He was averaging 12 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, hit the game winner over Virginia. He was skeptical he'd ever play again, but he credited athletic trainer Corey Kaplan for continuously motivating him throughout the rehab process. Tock said he feels like he's regained his shiftiness, and he's also boosted his explosiveness, 10 pounds lighter. And he also said it was important for him to return to James Madison to finish his master's in adult education because he wants to be a coach.
Well, good for him to come back and to finish that and to finish what he started here at JMU. Again, this is his 3rd stop. He was at Canisius to start his career, then was at Seton Hall, and then becomes a Duke of James Madison.
And when you talk about an ACL tear in late January, I know that the medical technology and work on athletes' knees has improved a great deal, but that takes a lot of focus, a lot of work to be able to come back as quickly as he has.
Well, he is becoming a fan favorite here today, regardless of the level of competition. When he hit 3-pointers like that, that's the 3rd one for Friedel.
Oh, Friedel, the transfer from South Dakota State, hasn't missed as a Duke. 3 for 3 from deep.
Off the back of the iron, Amati, the outlet comes to Morris. Morris leaves it. Pass over here, Friedel. He's going to launch his 4th tray and hits his 4th tray.
Oh, and what a great look by Offerum. Getting the basketball down there in traffic at the low block and seeing Friedel open in the opposite corner. 12 points now for Friedel.
Tips the rebound to himself. Gets the ball knocked away. Now he's going to push it down the floor, and it is picked off by the free safety. McGill comes away with it. He's going to try to go coast to coast, high up over his defender, and Friedel another rebound. Otto Morris was looking up court right away, but couldn't get it into clear space. He's going to launch the 3. It's another.
Dukes are now 7 for 7 from behind the arc. All of them have been shot in rhythm. All of them have been good shots. And this is a basketball team that feels like it's got good shooters, and they feel like they're shooting well as a team here as the season starts.
Edwards gets his hand on the basketball. Off it goes McGill, and a turnover. The 2-on-1 behind the back it goes. Friedel leaves it for Edwards. The touch to Morris. He can't finish it, too strong.
Just one touch pass too many.
Is he smiling when he gets up? Yes, Morris is. Watching him get up on the other end. The action at Valley Forge's side, and a charge is the call.
Dukes had thought that Noah Friedel had picked up a charge, drawn a charge moment before that.
Molson comes back in, Sule and Brown. Alonzo, transfer from Texas State. When he came to James Madison, he had no idea that he was going to end up back in the Sun Belt Conference facing his old teammates.
It was a joy to watch that video of him down in New Orleans at the Sun Belt Media Day.
And the first 2 of the career of Xavier Brown. First team All-State, All-Region, All-Tidewater. Played in the Allen Iverson Classic All-American 24K Showcase out in Memphis. Again, his father's a coach.
Played at Oak Hill Academy in his junior season, so he's used to playing with high-level talent. And I think he's got a very bright future ahead of him.
I think, David, as you look at where some of these athletes have come from, there has been a lot of this high-caliber competition that they've gone up against before they got to James Madison. Most of that in high school.
Oh.
Just a little too short for Sule. And all that being said, translates to how they look on the court here at JMU too.
Mark Byington made a comment earlier in the preseason that I don't think you hear coaches talk about very often. He said, I think that our freshmen help to bring toughness to this team. You usually don't hear that about freshmen, but I think this group in particular really have the ability to do that, led by Xavier Brown and also Jarrell Roberson, the 6'9" freshman from DeMatha that I suspect we'll probably see before the day is out.
Here's Coach T.J. Hardiman. He's see babyface. Well, he's in his mid-20s, one of the youngest coaches, if not the youngest coach in the country. And at the free throw line with Edwards, big jump from free throws last year. He went from 47.6 as a freshman to shooting 64% last year. Now, certainly that could improve. I'm sure he wants to improve that, but that's a pretty significant jump from one year to the next.
Well, seeing him hit a couple here at the start of the season, I think is a good thing. Watching him in a scrimmage earlier this year, he was having some difficulty making those free throws, and you don't want that to get in your head. And he brings so much to this basketball team. Free throws are going to be something that he'll go to the line a lot.
Shot clock down to 2, and the long-range three-pointer, they're not even going to count that as a shot, as it the shot clock violation. 7:50 remaining, opening half of play. James Madison 45, Valley Forge 6. We'll be back with more of college basketball after these words on ESPN+.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
There are all kinds of products in this world. Things that make life easier or more fun. But New York Life's product is different. It's 12,000 experts whose responsibility is to be there, to guide you through the happiest and most difficult times. People who know the most valuable things in life aren't things at all. This is our product. This is what we do.
This Friday. Reserve your tickets now. Rated PG-13.
This could be an authentic Detroit-style deep dish pizza from Little Caesars. It certainly has the thickness.
With caramelized crispy cheese edges. I'm guessing it's...
Detroit-style deep dish, actually from Detroit, only $8.99.
Pizza.
I'd like to thank its Team Madison partners. They are Pepsi and our friends from Centera. Right now it's a 45-6 James Madison advantage over Valley Forge.
Dukes have forced 11 turnovers and started the game on an 18-0 run, and their most recent run they're working on right now, 17-0. As they're going to chase some team records in this opener for the second straight year.
Edwards with the basketball out front. Going back to him at the free throw line for Edwards as he drops in the bucket. And Molson follows up right immediately. Don't glance away. Dukes will score on you. Here is Molson back to the free throw line for James Madison.
Chance for the half-century mark with 7:30 to play in the first half. And the Dukes have played 9 players thus far, at least 5 minutes each.
Molson in double figures. Gives him up to 10. On the floor it goes. Molson's down there with him. Still a loose ball. They're just letting them pound on each other, and it comes out for James Madison. Brown with it out. Dumped off. Soulé underneath. Soulé powers it up. Can't get it to fall in. Long rebound comes out. It's Reese on the run, and they this exchange. Molson takes a glance behind, and he'll lay it up and in.
Molson now hasn't missed from the floor, up to 12 points, joining Friedel. Game high honors for the Dukes.
JMU 20 out of 26 from the field. A lot of that real close, David.
Yeah, they scored at 24 points, last 24 points of the ball game. Look at Offram out here on the perimeter guarding a guard, and he is able to do that. We'll see that against other teams during the regular season. It's not just peculiar for this game because of the Division III talent. Offram has the ability to go out and guard like that, and he generated the turnover on the last time down the floor.
E.J. Smith with his first bucket. Steps called against James Madison.
Yeah, on Offram, I guess maybe sportscaster jinx.
You got him.
Sorry about that, Missy.
We won't tell him that you talked about him.
That basket broke a 24-0 run for the Dukes.
Meanwhile, Valley Forge, one of its last 9, committing 8 turnovers in the last 7:26 as well, and that has not helped
getting our
Patriots cause.
First look at Jarrell Roberson, the freshman from DeMatha, in the ball game now, guarding up top in this defensive set.
Again, one of those players the Dukes have recruited that has played high caliber basketball pre-college. No shot, another shot clock violation against Valley Forge.
Turnover number 15 here in the first half for the Patriots. Another freshman checking into the lineup, and I've been anxious to see him come into the ball game. Bryson Blaine, freshman out of Berkmar and Richmond, Virginia, 6'5", 195. As a freshman, might remind you a little bit of Molson's game.
Edwards jumps in, puts it in.
Dukes have made 20 of 26 from the floor. Just really no. There's a mismatch, obviously, at every position on the floor.
Dukes back into his zone, trying to shoot over the zone. Banks hard off the glass. Edwards comes up with it. Blaine set up in the right corner. He's open if he wants to go that way. Edwards will maintain it. Offram back to Edwards. Blaine out of Richmond initially, then played in Georgia that David mentioned. Lilburn, Georgia, and then at one time was in Chesterfield, Virginia, where he played for L.C. Bird. Euro step inside, and another charge called against Valley Forge. One thing Coach Mark Byington has to be pleased with is the Dukes taking these charges today.
Yeah, Otto Morse, I think that's the second he has drawn here in the first half. And the Dukes going deep into the roster. 11 players on the floor thus far in this contest.
A 30-second timeout called. So we'll keep it right here. Again, Friedel with a dozen points. Molson with a dozen. Both of those players are 4 and 4 from the floor. And take a look at some of the early shooting here by Friedel, for example. Justin Amati.
Turnovers turned into baskets. That's Mark Byington basketball, and we've seen a lot of it here in the first half.
Friedel launches that one up. Edwards spins out, and he'll finish. In the second game today, we'll plan to start about 7 o'clock this evening. It's JMU women against the Maine Black Bears.
Maine won 20 ball games last year out of the America East program that very much like JMU. A lot of history, a lot of success.
Offram strong up to the glass. He has a half dozen, 56-8.
Love to see the 6'8", 230 guy out there guarding 30 feet away from the basket, and he's definitely able to do that. And now you see the 6'9" freshman out there doing the same thing in Roberson.
Getting off the shot with 7 to spare. Morse, Offram. Has to hang on second here. He missed the dunk attempt. He was hanging on to the glass. They're going to call it technical, although that's a tough call, David.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, he ended up falling to begin with, but they're going to call him for hanging on the rim. You can if you're protecting yourself, and they didn't see it that way. So we are going to take a timeout, however. 3:50 to go before intermission. 56-8, James Madison out in front.
Behind every patient is someone who waits. Someone who worries. Someone who cares.
Good job. That was really good.
But sometimes needs care too. At Centera RMH Medical Center, care doesn't end with the patient. It extends to their family, the community, and the nurses and doctors themselves. Centera cares.
Toyota pioneered the more efficient way to drive. And now, we're taking things even further. Efficiency for every lifestyle. Performance for any terrain. Giving you the freedom to go the distance and the power to find your way home. The future of dependability is here with Toyota's full line of electrified vehicles. More power, less gas. Reserve yours today. Toyota. Let's go places.
Duke's in control over Valley Forge in the season opener for the 2022-23 season. James Madison guard Vado Morse is in his third year with the Dukes after transferring from Mount St. Mary's, and he's just been a lot more vocal this season. He said he wants this year to be his most memorable year because he's never punched a ticket into the big dance. And he's always been this guy with a quiet demeanor, leads by example. But he learned a lot about being the man from his former teammate, Matt Lewis, who was the 2021 CAA Player of the Year with James Madison, now in the G League with the Iowa Wolves. That 1 year that Vado spent with Matt, Vado called it unforgettable. And he noted that Matt never had a bad day at practice. And Vado hopes to leave that same sort of stamp on the program when the book closes on this year as well.
All right, the miss at the free throw line. It was shot because of the technical foul called against Offram for hanging on the rim.
Really a shame because Offram had created with his defensive play on the other end of the floor the opportunity for the break, then missed that dunk.
Morris picks up the loose ball. 3-on-1. It's over to Soule. Soule with a bounce and the shove.
Made sure of that one.
Soule, 4 out of 9. 8 points in 7 minutes. And up to 58 points for James Madison. Just over 3 minutes to go.
This game really challenging the JMU record books. Dukes are still in the running for most points in a half and fewest points allowed in a half. Most points ever, 62 in a first half. Fewest allowed in a first half, 11.
Morris is held by his counterpart McGill. Played in 19 games, 3 starts last year for McGill out of Mississippi, Bay Springs High School. Morris will go to the free throw line. Votto starting all 29 games for the Dukes a year ago, shot 36% from the field, 34 on three-pointers, and 84% at the free throw line. Hit 82 of his 98 at the stripe.
Dukes now 6 of 6 at the free throw line, 7 of 8 from beyond the arc, 3-pointers, and shooting 74% from the field, 23 of 31.
Votto rolls in another.
And a lot of that because they forced 17 turnovers.
Dukes a bucket away from that school record points and a half.
If you're wondering, hey, didn't they score more than 60 against Carlo last year in the season opener? The answer is yes, 61.
This time a foul on Morse.
Dog, 60-8? What? Dude, what is going on?
Correction, that's only the third against the Dukes. Kick out a three-pointer. That's good. Nothing but net for Wishman. Out of Fishersville, Virginia. Just down the road.
Went to Grace Christian Academy, I believe. Hits the three-pointer there on a nice dish from White.
And Julian Wooden. He'll get in on the three-point shooting for James Madison.
And there's the record for the Dukes points in a first half.
And that record, Navy, I think you said, David?
Yeah, it was
right?
Navy back in 1991. Dukes won the game 106 to 88-6 during the Lefty Drizel era.
And the 11 points now for Valley Forge. Who was that? Was that Radford?
Well, as a matter of fact, I need to relook that one because I'm not sure I had that one. That was JMU's record for fewest points.
Oh, was
in
it?
the game.
Okay.
Let's look at their defensive fewest points allowed.
Molson back to the free throw line. Talk up to 13. Reached double digits 8 times last year, averaging just under 14 points a game for the Dukes.
You know, there doesn't appear to be a by-half record. I bet you Gary Michael sitting across the way there would know it right off the top of his head.
You know, that might have been one of those records, and then Lefty Drizel said that's a negative record. Let's not put that in there. Although it is in there for the Dukes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And there were some low-scoring ball games back before the shot clock and in the early 80s.
Yeah, some of those ECAC South battles
points
were hard to come by.
Those were great basketball games, but some of those games between JMU and William and Mary.
If you got to 30, you had a chance to win.
Yeah.
Jay White comes up with it. Tries to cross over. Good job by Morse sticking with him without fouling. Rebound Friedel. Out to Morse. Votto lays it in with the right hand, and he has bounced. He hit the floor pretty hard.
It was a great look from about 70 feet by Friedel, showing another part of his game that I think the fans are going to really enjoy.
Look at the outlet. Friedel looking up.
2 dribbles and ahead of the pack. Not able to get it to fall home, but Morse with a couple of free throws. Dukes will get a little stiffer test here on Wednesday. Hampton Pirates.
Morris reached double digits in 22 games last winter, and he has started his season with a double-digit effort. That's his 48th. 36 of those here at JMU. That does include his time at Mount St. Mary's for the 48.
I'm gonna offer us a prediction that you will not see the Dukes play this much zone at any other point during the season this year.
And this may be also a tactic. Again, the Dukes play in 48 hours. It can be a leg-preserving tactic as well.
Although I don't think anybody's going to get a huge number of minutes in this one.
Probably not, yes.
At the moment, Morse and Edwards each have 13 minutes in this first half.
To the final seconds here in this first half of play.
9 players have scored for the Dukes here in this first half.
Morris talking out there with White. Kick out, three-pointer in the corner. The foul, he'll get a chance to pick him up at the free throw line. Foul is called against Wishman. He scored over 1,800 points to set the school record. And he steals this. He just politely drops it in for the final points of the first half. 72 points put up by the Dukes of James Madison in this first half and limiting Valley Forge, the Patriots, to 11. Big numbers across the board for the Dukes, both offensively and defensively. It is halftime. Mark Byington and JMU going to the locker room with a game's worth of points already.
Yeah, and a game's worth of turnovers forced. And 20 turnovers in the first half. Dukes shooting the ball at 74%.
We'll be back with halftime coming up here on ESPN+.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. I'm gonna end this stream. This stuff is not even worth watching, bro. I'm gonna end this one and stream another game later on tonight. Probably a ranked game, because this is not. There's no point in watching this. They're up by 60 points, man. The spread's probably like 50. This stuff is over with. And I have to eat my food also, so I'm trying to watch a YouTube video. But, let me fix this. What the heck is going on with my cables, man? What the heck? What the? Oh my god, I'm having a cable issue, y'all. My stuff is tangled. This stuff is too dang long. I'm about to... Oh my god, I'm about to flip out. Oh my god. There we go. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna stream another game at 5 probably in 8 minutes. We'll see. I'll be back, y'all.